What up, everybody? You know what? When it's all said and done, people have made New Year's goals and whatnot, which, you know, well, they made resolutions or whatever. I just make goals that I plan on, fulfilling throughout the year, which I pretty much already fulfilled all the goals I have set out to, fulfill. Of course, I didn't set out too many goals anyway, but still. And I've been doing, in my opinion anyway, I've been doing a very good job about staying out of the drama. What I mean by that is I'm not the main focal point of people's drama. At least not the people who are not messed up in the head anyway. You see, anyone who calls out people for being a pedophile, things like that, I don't consider them to be messed up in the head. So as long as I'm not the center point of their drama, then, the way I see it, I'm doing something right. You see, I don't care if a bunch of pedos hate me or pedo supporters or whatever. I don't care if those kind of sick freaks hate me. It's whatever. I don't care. That's why it doesn't bother me one bit whenever someone like the cross-eyed lizard says, I hate you. Like, I don't care. Like, for real, I really don't. Like, as a matter of fact, I would consider that to be a badge of honor that a pedophile or a pedophile supporter hates me, like, for real. So, yeah. Anyway, though, but my goals was pretty much about gaming. I mean, obviously, my main goal or number one goal is obviously always to, put God first, live for God, things like that. But there's nothing wrong with the fruits of the world as long as you don't make it your God. I'm just quoting what somebody else says that basically wants to be hypocritical with that statement, but whatever. Nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I pretty much already reached the goals I set when it came to gaming. The only thing I have left to do that I've set for my goals is to eventually get Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Which, that'll probably be like either a July or an August purchase when it's all said and done. Which is no big deal. I'll give the game a chance to get a price drop too, so yeah. But no, now my new goal is to pretty much get done with all the really, really cheap titles, or at least all the platformers rather, like whether it be a side-scrolling platformer or 3D platformer that I'm still wanting to get for the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, whatever. So, yeah. See, I'm very frugal. I don't really care for spending full price on a game. It has to be something I know dang well I'm going to get my money's worth in order for me to do that. And that don't happen very often. So, yeah. Now, most of the time when I buy games, I try to get them at cheaper prices so that way I can get more than one within just 1 month instead of only having to be stuck with just one game. So, yeah. Like next month, I plan on getting a game called, I can't even remember the name of it. It's Marsupilami something. It's basically a copycat of, it's basically a classic Donkey Kong Country type of, clone. Which, and when I say Donkey Kong Country, I mean like from the Super Nintendo era. And then there's another one I want to get that's also a copycat of one of those, classic Super Nintendo type of Donkey Kong games, which is, I can't pronounce it right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right or not, but I think the game is called Nico Derico, The Magical World, something like that. Are you giving people a show, you weirdo? Goofy thing. And then the other one, obviously, I'm going ahead and give it Smurf Streams, a 3D platformer, because I love 3D platformers as well. So, yeah. Then probably April, it'll probably be a few more other type of, cheap platformers, but yeah. But nonetheless, though, that's pretty much my goal. Of course, well, I think in April, it'll more than likely be Smurfs 2, which is a sequel to Smurfs Vileaf, and then the, another one would probably be the Shantae Half Genie Hero, game. That would probably be my main two things I'd want to get that month. Because I don't think they'll afford to get those two along with something like Ukulele Replay or anything, because Ukulele Replay is kind of expensive, but yeah. But nonetheless, though, that's pretty much my goal, just to get caught up on all the major Nintendo Switch 1 games I was still wanting to get, well, in terms of third-party support, anyway. Although, if I actually stop and think about it, there's only like maybe 2 Nintendo Switch 1 exclusives that I want to get at some point in time, which is Fire Emblem Warriors, like the original Fire Emblem Warriors. I wouldn't also wouldn't mind going ahead and getting Mario Party Superstars. That's pretty much it when it comes to what there's left for the Switch 1 that I still want to get that I don't have already. So yeah. And I would do an LP of a lot of this stuff, but unfortunately, Nintendo is basically a bunch of overly sensitive snowflakes. Like, for real, they literally terminated or took down one of my videos, my Mario Bros. U videos, that is, because they said that it was considered to be too violent. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, Nintendo, you're freaking retarded. Like, seriously. So, yeah. I mean, not that it matters. My gameplay videos are kind of like low quality, like pretty much ghetto is all hell anyway, because, I just aim my phone at the TV and record it like that, so yeah. But nonetheless, though, I mean, still better than drama, but, whatever. Nonetheless, though, yeah, that's pretty much my goals when it's all said and done. I try to make realistic goals. I aim low, that way I can't really fail to meet the goals that I have set out for myself. So, yeah. Y'all take care. God bless. Peace.